You lost the room, and you never heard the door close. It didn't happen while you were quiet. It happened the second you opened your mouth. You had the right idea. You had the better plan. And somehow the man across the table walked out with the respect that should have been yours. You think it was his confidence. You think it was his voice, his suit, the people he knows. It wasn't. It was 8 phrases, 8 small strings of words you say every single day without ever hearing them. Each one leaks a little power. Each one quietly tells the room to move you down a rank. And you never feel it happen because everyone around you was trained in the same weak language you were. Machiavelli warned that a ruler must guard his mouth. He said a prince must never let a single word slip that hasn't been weighed first. Most men never weigh a word in their life. They spray language like a cracked pipe, then wonder why the floor is always wet. So let me be clear about what this is not. This is not about talking more. The loud man is not the strong man. This is about cutting the phrases that bleed you dry. This is about learning to speak with weight, so that when you finally do open your mouth, the room leans in instead of looking away. I'm going to give you all 8, and the 8th one is the phrase you say the most. It's the one that feels like good manners. It's the one costing you the most, and you're going to want to argue with me when I name it. Stay until the end. That's where the real wound is. One more thing before we start. This is for protection, not for performance. You're not learning this to manipulate anyone. You're learning it so no one can shrink you again. If you're ready, drop 3 words in the comments right now. I speak with weight. Type it. Claim it. Then let's cut the first phrase out of your mouth for good. Number 1. Does that make sense? You say it after every good point you make. You think you're being clear. You think you're being considerate. You're not. You're handing the other man a gavel. You explain your plan. Then you look up and say, does that make sense? You lay out your reasoning. Then you shrink and say, does that make sense? You share something you actually know. And you end it by asking permission to have said it at all. Here's the mechanism. When you close a strong statement with a question, you cancel the statement. You just told the room your idea might not hold. You just asked them to decide whether you're allowed to be right. Machiavelli understood that perception is the whole game. People don't respond to what you know. They respond to how sure you sound. The moment you sound unsure of yourself, they become unsure of you. Picture the meeting, you finish your pitch. The weak version of you says, does that make sense? And 3 heads tilt while they judge it. The strong version of you finishes the exact same pitch and goes silent. You hold the pause, you let it land, you say that's the plan, and you stop talking. Same idea, same words in the middle, completely different man. So here's what you do tomorrow. Kill the check-in question. When you finish a thought, end on a period, not a question mark. If you truly need their input, ask a real question. Say, what would you change that pulls them toward you? Does that make sense? Pushes you under them. And the next phrase is even quieter. You say it before you've even started. Number 2. Sorry to bother you. You open your messages with it. You open your requests with it. You apologize for existing before you've asked for a single thing. You need 5 minutes, so you say, sorry to bother you. You have a fair question, so you say, sorry to bother you. You walk into your own boss's office, a room you have every right to be in, and the first words out of your mouth are an apology. Here's the mechanism. An apology is a confession of guilt. When you apologize for taking up space, you're telling the other person that your presence is a cost. You're framing yourself as an interruption to their more important life. And people believe the frame you hand them. Tell a man you're a burden, and he will start to treat you like one. Machiavelli knew that men accept the roles they're given. Give them the role of the annoyed superior, and you have just cast yourself as the small one, begging for a moment of their time. Picture it. You message a colleague. The weak version writes, sorry to bother you. I know you're super busy, but could I maybe grab a second? The strong version writes, I need 2 minutes on the budget. When works, one man sounds like a problem. The other sounds like a peer, so here's the directive. Replace the apology with a reason. Instead of sorry to bother you, say, I've got a quick one. Instead of sorry for the delay, say, thanks for your patience. Gratitude lifts you both. Apology only sinks you, and the next phrase doesn't apologize. It just dissolves your idea into fog before it ever forms. Number 3, I was just thinking maybe we could. This is the phrase that murders your best ideas in the crib. You have a real proposal, then you wrap it in so much padding that no one can find it. You want to lead a project, so you say, I was just thinking maybe we could try. You want to change direction, so you say, I don't know, maybe this is dumb, but... You take a sharp idea, and you file every edge off it until it can't cut anything. Here's the mechanism. Every hedge is a trapdoor. I was just thinking gives you an exit. Maybe gives you an exit. This is probably dumb, gives you an exit. You build the escape route before you've even made the claim, because a part of you is planning to retreat. And the room smells that retreat instantly. Machiavelli taught that fortune favors the man who commits. The man with one foot already out the door commands nothing, because everyone can see he doesn't trust his own move. Picture the moment your team is stuck. The weak version says, I was just thinking, maybe, I don't know, we could possibly look at doing it another way. The strong version says, here's what we do. We move the deadline back 1 week and we ship it clean. Same idea. One man asked for permission to have a thought. The other gave a direction. So the directive is brutal and simple. Cut every word before your actual point. Delete just. Delete maybe. Delete I was thinking. Start with the point itself. Say, here's what I'd do. Then say it. Your idea was never the problem. The wrapping was. Now before the next 4, I want to stop you here. Because here's the part that starts fights in the comments. You didn't invent this weak language. You were taught it. By schools that rewarded you for raising your hand and waiting. By jobs that wanted you manageable. By everyone who found you easier to handle when you sounded small. So tell me below, and be honest, do you think you picked up these phrases by accident? Or do you think you were quietly trained to sound smaller than you are? Say it in the comments. I read the ones that make people angry. Number 4, no worries if not. This is the phrase where you defeat yourself before the other person even answers. You make a request, and then you immediately hand them the excuse to reject it. You ask a favor and add, no worries if not. You pitch a meeting and add, totally fine if you're busy. You reach for something you want, then you knock it out of your own hand so no one can take it from you first. Here's the mechanism. When you pre-approve the no, you tell the other person that the no is expected. That it's the natural answer. You've done their thinking for them, and you steered them straight to rejection. This isn't kindness, it's fear wearing the mask of manners. Machiavelli wrote that a man who won't reach fully for a thing has already surrendered it. You didn't protect yourself by adding no worries if not. You just talk them out of. Picture the ask. The weak version says, any chance you could introduce me to your contact? No pressure though, honestly no worries if not. The strong version says, I'd like an introduction to your contact. Would you make it? Then he stops. He lets the silence sit. He doesn't rescue them from the question. So here's the directive. Make the ask, then shut your mouth. Do not fill the silence with an exit. The pause after a clean request is uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly what does the work. Let them sit in it. Weak men can't stand 3 seconds of silence. You're not weak anymore. And the next phrase is one you think makes you sound thoughtful. It actually makes you sound like you don't own your own position. Number 5. I feel like you've started putting this in front of facts. You take something you actually know, and you downgrade it into a feeling so no one can push back on it. You know the numbers are wrong, but you say, I feel like the numbers might be off. You know the deadline won't work, but you say, I feel like maybe it's tight. You have a position, and you disguise it as a mood so you never have to defend it. Here's the mechanism. A feeling can't be argued with, which sounds safe, but it also can't be respected. When you say, I feel like, you tell the room this is just a vibe. Don't take it too seriously. I'm not standing behind it. You've pre-shrunk your own claim. Machiavelli understood the difference between the man who states and the man who suggests. The one who states forces the world to respond to him. The one who suggests hopes the world notices him. Picture the room. The weak version says, "I feel like this might not be the right timing." The strong version says, "This is the wrong time to launch, and here's why." One man shared a feeling nobody has to honor. The other put a stake in the ground. Everyone now has to walk around. So the directive, when you know a thing, say it as a thing. Cut "I feel like" and "I think" and "I guess" off the front of your facts. Say "the timing is wrong." Say "this number is off." If you're actually uncertain, that's fine. Name the uncertainty honestly. But stop faking uncertainty to avoid the risk of being wrong out loud. And the next one is a single word, one tiny word you've buried in half your sentences that shrinks everything you touch. Number 6. Just. This is the smallest phrase on the list, and it does more damage than most of the others combined. One word, just, and it makes everything you do sound like nothing. You say, "I just wanted to check in." You say, "I'm just following up." You say, "I just have a quick question." You take real actions and you slap the word "just" on the front of them, like an apology stapled to your own work. Here's the mechanism. Just is a minimizer. It tells the listener, what I'm about to say is small, so treat me as small. You're doing the shrinking for them before they even read the message. Send 5 emails in a week that all start with "I just wanted to," and you have trained an entire office to see your work as minor. Machiavelli knew that a man is measured by the weight he assigns himself. Assign yourself the weight of just, and the world will price you exactly there. Picture the follow-up. The weak version writes, "Hey, just circling back, just wanted to see if you had a chance to look at this." The strong version writes, following up on the proposal, "Do you have questions? No just, no shrinking." The message is the same length. The man behind it is twice the size. So the directive is the easiest one in this whole video, and it changes how you sound overnight. Search your own messages for the word "just" and delete it every time. Almost every sentence is stronger without it. You'll be shocked how much of your language was built to make you disappear. And the next phrase is the one where you disqualify yourself out loud before you've said a single useful thing. Number 7. I'm not an expert, but this is where you announce your own weakness like a warm-up. You take the floor, and the first thing you do is tell everyone not to trust what you're about to say. You're about to make a sharp point, so you open with "I'm not an expert, but." You're about to give real advice, so you open with "I could be wrong, but." You're about to say something you actually understand, and you lead with a disclaimer that tells the room to discount it. Here's the mechanism. When you disqualify yourself first, you install a filter in every listener's head before your idea arrives. Now they hear your good point through the words "not an expert." You poisoned your own well, and people rarely climb back up from the hole you dug yourself. Machiavelli warned that men judge by appearance far more than by substance. Announce that you're small, and they will file everything after it under small, no matter how good it was. Picture the table. The weak version says, "Look, I'm no expert here, this might be totally off, but maybe we should test the pricing." The strong version says, "We should test the pricing before we commit." Here's the risk if we don't. Same insight, one man begged you to ignore him, the other made you take notes. So the directive, delete the disclaimer entirely. If you don't know something, saying nothing is stronger than announcing your ignorance. And if you do know something, own it flat, say the point, let it stand on its own legs. Your idea doesn't need a warning label. It needs a man willing to say it without flinching. And now the 8th, the one you say the most, the root that every other phrase grows out of. This is the one I told you would hurt. Number 8, the reason is, well, because. Here it is. The unasked for explanation, the reason you didn't need to give. Someone asks a simple thing, or asks for nothing at all, and you pour out 3 paragraphs of justification like you're on trial. You say no to a plan, then you explain for 2 minutes why. You make a normal decision, then you defend it to people who never questioned it. You do something well within your rights, and you build a legal case for it that no one asked to hear. Now, here's the part I promised. There's a real reason your brain does this, and it isn't weakness of character. A study led by the psychologist Thomas Gilovich in the year 2000 found what he called the spotlight effect. People wildly overestimate how much others are watching them and judging them. You feel a spotlight burning on you that most of the time simply isn't there. So you over-explain to defend yourself from scrutiny that no one is actually giving you. You're answering questions the room never asked. And here's the mechanism, the one that ties this whole video together. Every unprompted explanation is a confession that you think you need permission. The man who over-explains is telling the room, "I don't believe I'm allowed to do this unless I convince you." Machiavelli understood the raw power of restraint. He knew the man who explains everything hands over the very information his rivals use to trap him. Your reasons are ammunition. Give them away for free, and someone will load them into a gun. Picture it, your boss asks if you can stay late. The weak version says, "Oh, I can't, because I've got this thing." Well, actually 2 things, and my ride, and I told my brother, so it's kind of complicated. The strong version says, "I can't tonight, I can do tomorrow, that's it." One man wrote a defense. The other stated a fact. And notice, the strong version isn't rude, it's just complete. A no does not require a footnote. So here is the final directive, and it's the one that changes your whole presence. Give the answer, then stop. When you decline, decline. When you decide, decide. You are allowed to do things without a reason attached. The next time you feel that flood of explanation rising up your throat, feel it as the spotlight that isn't real, and swallow it. Say the sentence, "Let the silence do the rest." That is the 8th phrase, and now you see why it's the root. Does that make sense? Begs for approval. Sorry to bother you, apologizes for existing. No worries if not, pre-approves your own rejection. I feel like hides your position, just shrinks your work. I'm not an expert, disqualifies you. And the over-explanation, that's all of them at once. It's a man who does not yet believe he's allowed to take up space. So let's put the 8 together, because they're really one disease with 8 symptoms. You've been speaking a language built to make you small. Not because you're weak, because you were trained, and training can be undone. Here's what changes when you cut these phrases. You'll say less and mean more. The room will get quieter when you speak because they'll learn your words are rare and heavy. People will stop talking over you because there's nothing soft left to interrupt. You won't become louder, you'll become harder to move. And a man who is hard to move is a man other men respect without knowing why. Machiavelli built his philosophy in exile, stripped of everything, and he still refused to shrink his words to please the men who cast him out. Your language is the one thing they can't take from you. So stop giving it away. Say the affirmation with me one more time. Type it in the comments right now. I speak with weight, not to sound tough. To remind yourself that every word you spend is a coin, and you're done handing them out for free. If this cut close, you're one of us now. Subscribe and stay. The next one goes deeper. It's about the quiet habits of kindness that train the people around you to disrespect you, and why the nicest men are so often the least respected. You don't want to miss how that one ends. Cut the 8 phrases, speak with weight, and watch how fast the room changes when you finally stop asking permission to exist.